Hey guys, Codeberry's here today, so hope you're all doing well. So I just want to talk about something else today. So I'll just talk about one of my latest investments. So before, I'm not sure if you know, but I was in Suncor, so I bought Suncor last October. I was a little bit early. I bought it, excuse me, I bought Suncor at like $11. And I held it for about 4.5 months, and I sold it in the 20s. So I think energy will be taking a retrace right now, but what I'm here to talk about is my next investment. So this might be a little bit longer of an investment, maybe a year or two, or like about a year or two. So basically, I just saw this company called Eden Empire. So Eden Empire, they're a chain of dispensaries in the US and Canada. They also have growing facilities in the US and Canada, and they're continuing to expand. Growing and extraction facilities for like extracts and stuff like that. So they're they're in like a bunch of provinces, and then they're in a bunch of states too. I think in the states they're in like Michigan and California, Oregon and Washington right now. Maybe Colorado, if I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they will be in Colorado if they're not already. Excuse me, I forgot the exact details, but I know they're in. There's a store here in Vancouver, or a few stores they're opening. They used to have some before. I think they still have those old ones, but there were some regulations, and then you had to apply for new permits. So they're just opening up, or they have been open. I know I went there before in like 2018 and 2017, maybe even 2016 too. I used to go there. They're really nice dispensaries. They're like really professional and stuff. They have like they tell the ratio of the strains. They have all kinds of like golden shatters and stuff. Actually, Snoop Dogg was partnering with them in Tweed. But yeah, I heard that. I saw it in their news post that Snoop Dogg, like, he knows about the dispensaries and stuff. He goes there maybe, or he knows about it. He came to Vancouver for the Cannabis Cup, and I think that he ended up going to Eden. So he knows about Eden. He goes to Eden. He likes Eden. They're a little bit. They're not cheap, but they're not super. They're kind of like on that. They're on the pricier side. Their stuff is like really not super pricey, but they're up there. They're not like super cheap. I think they're above the average price of marijuana and extracts and stuff, but you can go there and you can get like different ratios. So you can get hybrids, you can get indica, you can get sativa, so they got different stuff. So yeah, they're opening a chain of dispensaries across the US and Canada, and growing facilities, and they're continuing to expand, and they've been featured on Bloomsburg. So they just got onto the Canadian Stock Exchange, the CSE. I think it's the CSE, yeah, the Canadian Stock Exchange. They were listed in late January, so they've only been on there for like 2 months. So I guess they got their initial IPO of 33 cents, and then it got sold off. There was some momentum. It got bought up. It went back to 20 cents. So it went down to about where we are, about 10 cents. Then it got bought up. It went to 20 cents, and I guess it got sold off. So it's being traded right now. This kind of looks like it's like the squeeze momentum happening. We'll talk about the chart in a sec. So the market cap, don't worry about this number because it's changed. A couple of days ago it was about 15, 14, or in there. So there's a lot of money going in and a lot of money going out. It's being traded today. It had 100,000, over 100 and almost 110,000 amount of volume. The average volume is about 100,000. So you can see that the 52-week range is 0.095 or 10 cents to 33 cents. Again, we'll talk about the chart in a sec. So you can see they got featured on Bloomberg. So if you don't know what Bloomberg is, they're one of the most famous financial reporters in the world, and they're a team of analysts and reporters, journalists, and they talk to different CEOs. They talk about the markets. I definitely check it out. They have a TV show in Canada. They just teamed up. So BNN, the old no, so it used to be just yeah, it used to be BNN Business News Network. That's in Canada. So they teamed up with Bloomberg. So Bloomberg went international with BNN. Now Canada's a part of Bloomberg. Before, I don't know if Canada was a part of Bloomberg, maybe only sometimes, but now they have the show with them every day. That just started maybe a year or two ago. Yeah, something like that. Probably about 2 years ago. So they got the Canadian show, and then they got the US show. That's the big one. But then they also have the Euro show, which I don't watch anymore, unfortunately. Sometimes, because around 11 maybe. If I have time to watch it, I do like to watch it, but I've been going to bed earlier. I used to watch it when I used to stay up late. But the Dubai show's good too. That starts around 7 or 8, maybe 7 o'clock. The China show in Japan, that starts around 6 or 5, something like that. And then Australia, New Zealand, those open up around 2 p.m. I'm not sure if the show starts, or sorry, 2 p.m. Pacific time, so it'll be 3 hours Eastern time. So China opens at like, what time do they open at? Like 9 p.m. Japan opens up around 9 p.m. New York time. The Euro show starts around 2 in the morning, I guess, on the Eastern time. And the Australian show starts in New Zealand. They start around like 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. That's usually a nice one to watch on Sundays. I don't get enough time to watch it, but I do like to watch it when I do have time. Like when I eat my food or something, when I take a break, I watch it. That's the only time, like when I have dinner or lunch. So like not really lunch, but it's mostly dinner. I can squeeze like 10 minutes in. But other than that, I'm mostly just studying all the time. But other than that, we'll just talk about. So they have they had a news report. Hopefully the camera gets this. They got a news report about 2 days ago. That's the day I bought shares. I didn't know about the news report, and I didn't even know they're on Bloomberg. So that's even better. Being featured on Bloomberg that's really good. That means that people are checking it out. They're looking for potential investments, like by big corporations, big like big investors, like big time, like multi-million kind of stuff, maybe even more, who knows. But right now they had a press release. I'm not going to have time here to read the whole thing today, but do check it out. I'll try to post a link in the description. But basically they said they had some kind of deal, and they're talking about a minimum of 12 cents per share and all the way up to 40 cents per share for a period of the first 24 months, something like that. But what I can get with that is that they're saying that it could be like 40 cents in the next year or two. Honestly, I think it could go higher than that if there's more volume, but that's not bad. And like you can definitely trade it on the way up if you can trade it. I'm sure it will get traded, but I'm not sure. It could be risky to sell it, and then if it pops up, then you're gonna not be having it. You're not gonna have any shares. So we'll talk about it later when it occurs. But there definitely is some kind of news. Definitely check it out. I haven't had time to read it, but it's not that bad much, but it's like quite a read. So just have a look. I'll try to post a link in the description. We'll talk about the chart now. So it is a new chart, so there's not any data. So if I go to like the 1 month, there's nothing because it hasn't collected enough data to show anything yet. I've noticed it was like that for Bitcoin for a while and Ethereum. Even some ticker symbols don't even show all the data. It like cuts off half of the screen. All we can see right now here is a moving average, a WMA2, so it's at 10. But I'll just show you on the weekly. We got an EMA, 9, it's at about 12 cents. So it did go up to 11 the last few days. So it went from 10 to 11, 10 to 11 a few times. So it's being traded. So we could say that, there's some potential to get up there. And then we could probably get sold off back down here. And then come up, come up, come up, come up, come down, come up. And then we could get a break, right? That's what we're looking for. So I'll just post it. So let's just say here, I guess. Here to about here. Is there resistance? So we might get something here, something like it's annoying I have to keep drawing these, clicking that thing. But you can get something like that, and then imagine if that line goes like that, then we could get a break up here, right? Get a break, bounce off there, come back down, or maybe not, but just a example, and then we can get a break. And this is all red, so we can go right through that. So that's what I'm saying. Just check it out. Obviously it could take. Actually, no, these are weekly candles, so it could look accurate like this. If there's more volume, if it gets noticed more. Right now, it's not really. It just is very new. Like it just came out on the CSX or CSE 2 months ago. So it's really, really new. They had their IPO. They got sold off. They bought it. It's been traded. It got sold off again. It got bought. It got sold off now. Maybe there's a buying phase here. I wouldn't worry about it because I just kind of leave it. If you're gonna buy it, definitely just leave it for at least a year or two. Don't worry about it. It's gonna go up. There's gonna be a lot of squeeze momentum that eventually, like I said, we're gonna have that squeeze momentum. Where can I saw some earlier. I think it was on here. Whoops. So basically you have the peak squeezing with the support, and it gets so squeezed that eventually there's a big pop. So just hold it, just wait for it. There's no data on here. There's nothing like 4 hour. There's some data because it's on the 4 hour, but like I said, there's nothing on the monthly at least. But let me just remove all those lines now. You can see that there is room for that RSI, so the daily RSI. So you can see it got down there, it's up here now. So there's a lot of room to get up here. There's definitely a lot of room to get up here. Some of the shorter time frames have gone up there. We see some squeeze momentum here. You can call it convergence, I think. If I can remember calculus correctly, they're converging together. So it's opposite of divergence, so it's like bullish convergence, right? They're converging together. And that squeeze momentum that I'm talking about, so you can see those shorter period indicators. They're squeezing together, and you got the blue ones doing the same thing. And you got this one kind of doing that. It's harder to see, but the orange and the blue are more distinct. You can see it. So again, we could see that yellow RSI definitely come up here eventually, right? Of course we can, right? Because I was actually got noticed by Cavo. He has he's been on here for a while. I remember seeing him way back in the day, in 2015. He was on TradingView. 2014. He has 100,000 followers or something, or subscribers. But he liked my post. I could show you actually, if I can see it. I'm not even sure where it would be. I think it's above this. Dip pips, perp, no. Yeah, I'm in chat sometimes, so you can chat with me. I don't chat that much though. Where's right there, Cavo. See, he has 100,000, 108,000 followers. He agreed with this, so he thinks. So I could just try to new tab it. Actually no, but if you can see that, you see it says Eden Empire Cannabis stock, and I talk about it here. Check that out. You can find me on TradingView, code berries. I just made this account. I used to have couple thousand followers, maybe like 5,000, but I got rid of that account because they update their source code quite often, so I didn't have access to the new data, so I wanted that, so I just kind of scrapped it out. Plus I didn't like the name anyways, and I didn't know as much as I do now back then, but here's what I wrote. So EDEN, or EDEN.CN, on the CSE, Canadian Stock Exchange, is a new, recently listed cannabis stock that is a chain of dispensaries across the US and Canada. They also have growing facilities, cannabis cultivation, and extraction facilities. They're going to have continued expansion and have an outlook of $1 by the end of the year. I didn't know about the Bloomberg post at that time. I mean the news, I didn't know about it. So that's just that. So basically, that's good. You know, there's a lot of room for this to get overbought. Like, look, well, I guess even when it was there, it wasn't even halfway. So this could see 50, 60 cents before it gets overbought. So definitely, this could get traded. Hopefully, like, I don't want to trade it and get caught, but definitely hold your shares if you are. There's nothing on here yet, but when there is, maybe that guy knows. Maybe he's been trading longer than me, I'm not sure. But I guess he bought some of this. There is room for these to get up here, and there's no yellow one yet. As I said, there's not enough data, I guess, to calculate it. They need enough data to calculate the formula. So like I said, there's definitely resistance all the way up there. We could definitely see a break of there, and there's not even a yellow RSI in here. We definitely could see that once it does appear, we could definitely see it come up here. And same thing with the monthly. So it could take a while, as I said, but maybe like a year or something to see some real volume coming up there to $1. But who knows, right? I know they are competing with Aurora and Afria, and I had the chance to buy those in the 30 cents zones, and I never did. And I could have been like filthy rich by now, so I don't want to miss this one. I do think the cannabis industry does see more upside. I'll have to maybe do another video on it, or I guess we could just check it out now. Hopefully the time doesn't run out. But just have a look here. So EDEN, Potcoin. Yeah, I was checking out Potcoin too. We'll do another video on that. Okay, so cannabis as a CFD. I guess it's a contract for difference, so you can buy with some forex brokers. They did have some momentum up here, so there is a break. There is room to break that. There's room to break that eventually, right? Eventually, there's room to break that. And just from the fundamentals, like, there has been a lot of people buying more cannabis in Canada during the pandemic. That's been in the news. So you might see a little bit of retracement down here just for that one, but we'll talk about, well, maybe not. Let's have a look at the monthly. Don't worry about that though, because, well, yeah, you might see that orange blue line come back down here and swing back up before this yellow RSI gets overbought. But basically, there is room to the upside eventually. That's what I'm saying, because that's like that's like a small cap, right? 10 cents. Is that even in the small cap zone? Maybe. But what I'm saying is, like, those usually, once they're not even up there, so they're not being traded as much. They're not going to have that much swing in them. But you can see this is canopy growth. So like I said, think about it like this. There's a high here of 70, right? How do we look on Monday? We came down to about 30. Where this? Give me the Canadian one. We came down to about 30, even the 20s, like this week. 20s, right? We're in the high 20s. 29. Last week we're at 27, right? Think about it. 2 weeks ago. Think about it. We had a high of 60 almost. Buying in the 27 area, 29. That's not too bad, considering that's not too bad at all. Considering there's a lot of room for this to break. We will get a break on here eventually. Trust me. And I'm talking longer term. like a year or two, we definitely will get a break. Even within a year, we'll get a break on there. There's a lot of volume to that upside, and once we see that break, we could be getting up here, right? It could, but what I'm saying is it could take a while, right? It could take a while. This might get a touch there to zero line. So we got this month and next month, and then we might see back some more momentum coming up once we get these lines at least touching like this. Here's a good example where those lines are almost together. We might see this line get a little bit closer together, but eventually we'll see that come back up. But Aurora has a different complete story. So I'll just show you. ACB. Have a look. They haven't even got up here in a long time. And when they did, look where they are now. This week, they were, Aurora Cannabis was down here. It was in the 8s. That's why I'm saying it's not a bad time to buy, considering that yellow line's there. Look, we got lots of room to come up here. Look where it was recently. Went all the way to 20 bucks. So that's a Canadian cannabis company, Aurora Cannabis. If you haven't heard it, I had the chance to buy that at like 30 cents, but I never did. Let's not talk about that. But anyways, there's another run gonna happen. Have a look. Have a look at this. There's like resistance all the way up there, and we got so huge sell-off there, right? What do you think's gonna happen after a huge sell-off? I know people are watching this like, oh, like he's a bull. Like, I'm not always a bear. I told you, right? When it's time to buy, I'll tell you. That's what I said. So have a look. There's room for that to swing up within the next, what is that, a year. Definitely could see that, get an average price around 90 bucks and definitely see a break. That's what I'm saying. See, look, there's so much room for that to touch. Look, it touched that yellow line. Have a look. Just in March too. Just in March. That's probably when Eden went up and touched 20 cents. But have a look. See, went down low. It came up, got a pop from that squeeze momentum. Where can I show you? How can I show you this? So there's that peak. There's the low. How can I show you squeeze momentum? So there's a peak, and then we got the support, and we got that rising price, and wants to break those red candles and come up to the bottom of a green, I think. So wants to break all that. Look, we can easily see that come up to 60 bucks. Trust me, if that breaks that yellow line, and look how nice of a chart that is. Like, that's just like a textbook play right there. Have a look. It came up, it came low, it hovered. I thought about buying it there too, but I went into Suncor. I didn't end up buying it. But I had a look at it when it was around October. I guess it was here. It went down to about 4 bucks, I think. 371, that was the low. And then it just bounced up and just came up and just wanted to connect with that yellow line. Now it's touched off and bounced off. So now I think there could, see, look, have a look here. This wasn't even like that. Today's the first day, so yesterday this is a new month today again. It's a new month. I'll have to do some more videos, but it's a new month. So this candle, monthly candle, just opened up, and guess what? It's crossing up. It's crossing up. Look. Last time we got lots of green last time. It doesn't even show all of it. Like I said, it's not going to show all the data because this is a fairly new stock too, right? So it could take a long time, like at least a year, before we get some good data on here. But again, it's crossing up. It's just crossing up now. So there could be a long run. You could see, look, that's went up for, couldn't even see anything for half of it, but at least a year, right? We could definitely push up there, and look, have a look at that yellow RSI. There's tons of room for that to get up there. Tons. Absolutely tons. And this is crossing up, so I wouldn't worry about holding it. I wouldn't worry about as the months average out. You see that yellow line come up here. Trust me. 100%. It'll come up there, because cannabis is being look like it's being taken as a commodity now. Like, it's being seen as a commodity. So you can start putting your money in there. And again, we definitely will see, well, there's no data on here. We'll definitely see that yellow line come up here. See that yellow line come up there. At least there. So just wait for it, grab some, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.